Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Hope you've all had a good week. Hope you have all had a good weekend. Welcome back to the Sunday Club. Hope everyone's doing well. See, the chat is straight in tonight. I'll come on to that, but I'm just going to go over channel members. Quick update in the squad. Kurt Barlow, Tom Briscoe, Brian Turner, Gate 102 Podcast, Robert Beveridge, Felix, Charlie Kelly, Josh Philp and Kurt Barlow. Thank you all so much. But good evening. Yes, good evening, England fans, as Darius said. I'm going to come on to the chat. It's a bit of a funny time now, isn't it? Because we're qualified. But we've got two of probably the tastiest games coming up, really, in this group. So there is something to look forward to as England fans. And, of course, the World Cup draw, which I'll discuss at some point. I've got a new game tonight as well. I've been trying to think in terms of what fun thing could I set up each week that we do, and it's going to be guess the player. So each week I'm going to have a picture of a football player where I'm going to blur the face out and guess the player. This week I think it would be quite easy, but I've done it, so obviously I'm going to think that. But I think a lot of you are going to get tonight's pretty quickly, but some may be harder, some may be easier each week. But yeah, just a bit of fun, and hopefully you guys will appreciate that. Let's make this a regular thing. Let's say at 2:45. So we'll start at 2:30, 2:45 every single Sunday. 7:45, where I'll put on a guess the player picture, and then we have 10 minutes for people to do so. Let me go up to the top. So Ricky Grimshaw coming home, not waiting until 2026. Andrew Joyce, Rashford scores again. Bellingham scores. The English boys in Spain are doing the business. Yeah, I mean, we could do with Bellingham getting back into it. Bellingham is going to be a huge talking point between now and Christmas, isn't it? Because he's going to be a huge talking point in the squad that's coming up in a week or so's time. Danny Welbeck is on form. For Brighton right now, should get the next call up. Anyone who's been watching this channel for any sort of period of time will know this is where the love is at for Danny Welbeck. This channel, myself, obviously, we've led the charge for Danny Welbeck for a number of years before the bandwagon. So I'm loving the fact that Danny Welbeck is back in the press and potentially pushing for an English call-up. And he should be. He should be. You know, I know it's 7-8 years ago. Feels like we're going in the past, but I feel like his English career was cut way too short. Way too short. I think he's a good player. I think he offers something at the end of the day. In an area of the pitch, let's be honest, where we ain't blessed. And he can. I know his goal. I was going to say he can finish, but his goal scoring record isn't great. But he's got a good finish on him. But he does more than that. He's a bit of a unit, bit of a target man. He offers a lot. We definitely shouldn't be overlooking him. Andrew, hi Gary. Surely Nico O'Reilly deserves another call-up. He was immense again tonight. Flipped between watching Barcelona and watching City. I think Rashford was the best player on the pitch tonight. You'll know more than me and Andrew. I've not watched either, but it sounds great. I mean, Nico O'Reilly, he may well get a call-up, given, again, the lack of options in that area of the pitch. So let's see what happens. But end of the day, we want people who are called up, who deserve a call-up, don't we? Bloody Ireland, if only Ireland was English. Ricky was born in Leeds, wasn't he? I mean, look. We can't. He's Norwegian. It is what it is. We've got Harry Kane. We've got the best striker in the world at the minute. I don't care what anyone says. Unfortunately, not the same as Casper Schmeichel. Good evening. Good evening, Matt's channel. Evening, Kurt, mate. Channel member. Hope you're doing well. Does Carl Rushworth deserve a call up this time? I don't know, mate. He's passed me by. I mean, this is the thing. Are we going to see the strongest call-up? Is he going to bring back your Bellinghams and stuff like that? Or is he going to experiment with these last couple of games? I mean, he's earned the right to experiment. The squad has earned the right to experiment. But I don't think he will. I do think he'll call up the strongest squad he could possibly can, which means you'd expect Bellingham to be there. So, honestly, it's going to be really interesting. Ricky, don't worry, mate. I think last week I was in Whitby, wasn't I? So I didn't stream last week, but the week before. They're all on there, mate, so if you want to catch up, because after that, I'll be honest with you, most of these Sunday Club live streams tend to be more evergreen content than some of my videos, because I tend to put videos out very specific to periods of time where these conversations could be happening at any point, so please go back and watch it. I've got 2 or 3 other video ideas that I want to try and get filmed this week, so keep an eye on that. Against Serbia, England get a draw 1-1 at Wembley, and finally, against Albania, England will win 4-0 in Tirana. I am going to drop my prediction videos for these last 2 games. I'm not going to say my score tonight, but I do... Look, I don't want England to concede. Whether I predict England will concede or not is a different kettle of fish. And whether I think we'll win both games is also up for grabs. I do think, though, my perceptions of the two teams have changed. Albania away is now the toughest game in this group, given where the group's gone, given how Serbia's performed. It just so happens to be the last game of the competition. So it's a funny one, isn't it? I was at the City Ground 2 Thursdays ago. It was a pleasure to see Anderson again. Yeah, he's classmate. I mean, he should be getting a call up, shouldn't he? Have you watched Coventry? Looks good. No, I've not. Genuinely, I haven't, mate. I've not watched Coventry at all. Which pot 2 team are you most worried about us potentially having in our group? I'm assuming Norway will be pot 2 team. To be honest with you, I'm most looking forward to this next set of fixtures, so we can actually put some meat on the bones of. I know you can sort of do it now, but we can start to plan, can't we, in terms of discussions around who we may get, who we may want to get, who we may not want to get. I think at the minute, Kurt, you're right. I mean, Norway could very much be a pot 2 and probably most likely to be, but I just want to see what the pots are officially going to be before I start worrying about it, because it's just a complicated system with the 48 teams, and I also want to consider who we might get obviously outside of Europe as well. I think the fact is, no matter which team we get from a European perspective, they're going to be a good team. You've got to be a good team to qualify for the World Cup. In reality, you could do a World Cup with 40 teams from Europe and 8 teams from the rest of the world, and it would probably be stronger than the World Cup that will be happening next year, because Europe is so much better than everywhere else. That is my personal opinion. But it means that whoever we do get from a European perspective in our group, they're gonna be a top team. Top team. Apparently, we are planning a friendly in the US next June. Yeah, I've heard that again. I think it's against, is it Japan and Uruguay? I believe, Ricky. I think, to be honest with you, that may be a lot of people's options to go and watch a game out there, because I think the ticket price is going to be mad. Robert, channel member, welcome, mate. Call up Misfits for these games. We don't need Kane, do we, since we know what we're going to get and risk injury? I think the problem is, though, Robert, I hear you, but I think Kane will want it. He'll be fuming if he don't get called up. And I think he'll want to be there. He's after those records in it. He wants to play every game, which is brilliant. I hear you, but I just don't think he'll call up the Misfits. I think he'll pick the strongest squad, personally. Yeah, true, they haven't actually qualified yet. It's just one of them where, look, we're all sort of, and I've seen it now, and I'm doing the same. I'm looking, thinking, who could we get? But I just feel like I just want to get this next set of fixtures out of the way. Then finally, there's some clarity, and then honestly, everybody from November, mid-November onwards, when these quality, get ready, because it's all about the build up to the World Cup, then, isn't it? I have applied actually through the FA. They've sent out to the travel club members this past week to be a part of like a World Cup draw party. I was planning obviously on doing a live stream, and I will do if I'm not given a ticket to one of these events. Not likely, but there's one in Manchester, one in London, I believe, or whatever. If I'm lucky enough to get a ticket, I'll go to that and film it. I'll do a video for that. But if not, I will be live streaming the draw. Danny Welbeck for England, excellent backup. Maybe Carlton Morris after his hat-trick versus Sheffield United. Danny Welbeck's got to be in with a shout. He's got to be in with a shout. Are you watching Under-17 World Cup? No, mate, I haven't. If I fear Bellingham won't be in, I'm worried. Sorry, says Andrew. I missed that one. Sorry, mate. He won't go to the World Cup. I think he'll go. It wouldn't surprise me if Tuchel doesn't pick him again in this next squad. I think he'll go to the World Cup, but I think the next squad, doesn't it, probably outlines very clear in black or white whether there's a problem with Tuchel and Bellingham or not. Because really, there's not a huge reason for him not to be picked now. I probably understand it in the last squad because he came back from injury, but he seems to have come back to life at Real Madrid quite positively, Bellingham. The fact that we've been having players like Jordan Henderson and let's be honest, we've been struggling in that. You're looking at Bellingham and think he's got to come back in now, but I don't know. It's going to be difficult, isn't it? We could get Uruguay and Italy again. I know. I mean, that would be a tough group, wouldn't it? It would be a shockingly tough group. The Euros is definitely harder than the World Cup. I agree with that. Please, not Italy and Uruguay. I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't mind Uruguay again. I don't want Italy. I go back to the Nations League as well. I just don't want Italy. I want to avoid Italy. I'm sick of playing him. I think we're better than them, and I wouldn't fear them, but I'd rather us play somebody else. Do you watch Under-17 England and Women's? I don't really watch Under-17s England. I mean, if they're on and I've got some time, I'll watch them. I do watch the women's game. I didn't go to the Derby game actually the other night. I should have done, but I do watch the women's game. I will not watch England versus Serbia because I'm going to see a film in cinemas. Well, I mean, look, England should win it. England should win that game. Adam Wharton has missed the last 2 games. I think Wharton's ship has sailed. It's just injury and fate seems to be against Adam Wharton, doesn't it? I think everyone's crying out for him, and everyone was crying out for him in the last squad. But and I swear, what really winding me up is every single time, and you'll hear it again, if Adam Wharton isn't available again, everyone will be like, why aren't you picking Adam Wharton? Everyone was saying it last time, saying Adam Wharton should be in this squad, ringing up radio shows or moaning on YouTube that Adam Wharton isn't in the squad. I'm like, he's injured. You can't pick him if he's been injured. Every single squad, he's had 3 squads, hasn't he, Thomas Tuchel? Every single squad he's had, Thomas Wharton has not... Thomas Wharton, who the hell's that? Adam Wharton has not been available. So, it's just, yeah, I don't get it. I just don't get it. People just need to calm down. He'll pick him when he's available. But it just, the luck seems to be out with Adam Wharton at the minute. I'm not that worried about big names missing out anymore. Squad depth is best since 1998. Yeah, I mean, we shouldn't be worried if anyone misses out on these last 2 games. I remember applying for that World Cup draw event for 2022. I wasn't selected and watched at home. 6 of my subscriptions went live during then. Well, look, I'm hoping I get in with a shout. I mean, I'll have a look at it. I'd love to go. I think it'd be class. And it'll make a good video as well, won't it? Let's be honest. Jordan Henderson shouldn't be in that squad now. I mean, when you look at if Adam Wharton and Bellingham's available, it's questions on Thomas Tuchel then still picking Jordan Henderson have got to be asked, because I think he's got away with it a little bit. And when I say a little bit, I do mean a little bit, because people are still absolutely slated him for picking Jordan Henderson. And again, it goes back to the fact we don't know these players, we don't know how the dressing room works, etc., etc. There could be a very genuine, justified reason for it that we're not privy to. But he's going to really struggle, isn't he, if you've got players like Bellingham and Wharton available this time around and he doesn't pick them and picks Jordan Henderson. He's just creating a rod for his own bloody back. But we've just got to trust him. We're the worst nation in the world for sabotaging our own chances. And if for whatever reason, and I'm saying this now on a live stream, I love Jude Bellingham. If he doesn't pick Jude Bellingham, I stand by the manager's decision, because, again, there's more context there than what we know, and I've just got to trust that Thomas Tuchel knows what he's doing and he's doing it for the right reasons. That's it. Uruguay look bang average. Well, yeah, they're not the team they used to be. In case you're thinking about getting a ticket in Tirana, personally, I don't think it's a good idea. I mean, we know about Albanians here in the UK. We should send some tough hooligans there. Yeah, I don't think... I won't be going to the away game. Wharton's last chance to start as possible regular should be this month. Does Jones deserve a call-up? Is Thomas Wharton a mystery player, maybe? Who's a third-choice defensive midfielder? The problem is he seems to only be playing with 1 defensive midfielder, doesn't he? So do we need a third choice? Do we need 3 defensive midfielders in a squad? Jermaine Genius doing the last World Cup draw was random. I know. Well, he had like the best agent in the world, didn't he, for a number of months, and he was on absolutely everything, and all those allegations came out, and then he's been on nothing since. So what an idiot, because he was literally, Jermaine Genius had the world in his hand, didn't he? But I remember at the time everyone was like, how the hell did Jermaine Genius manage to get there? Right, it is 1:45, so I did promise everyone a little bit of a quiz this week, so I am just going to flash up. So the idea is, well, when I put it on, I'll give us 5 minutes. I'll put this player on. I'm going to ask people don't put in the chat first and foremost, because I want people to sort of make their own mind up. Because if people, again, I think this is relatively easy, but if people get it quickly and start putting the name in, it's just a complete waste of time. So all I'm saying is just don't comment immediately if you think you know who it is. I'll ask it 10-2 or 5-2 for everyone to put their answers in. And be brave, because it may not be who you think it is. It may be who you think it is, but it may not be. Fortune brave as the bold sometimes, and these will get harder each week. But let me know, it's just a bit of fun. So yeah, here is the first week's Guess the Player. So have a think and keep the chat going, and we'll come back and have a look on that in a second. Tyler Morton has been excellent for Lyon. Great. Well, I mean, I don't watch French football, so I'll take your word for it. Elliot Anderson, Adam Morton, and Declan Rice. Genius had his career destroyed by the BBC for what appears to be rather minor offences compared to some characters who once worked at the Beeb. Well, yeah, compared to those, definitely. Going from Gary Lineker to Jermaine Genius was a huge downgrade from FIFA. Lineker did the draw in Russia. I mean, he'll be back, won't he? But yeah, he just he must have had like the world's best agent. No, it's not. For obvious reasons, it's not Esky, mate. I nearly did pick Esky this week. Such a shame England have one of their strongest genes, whilst the actual nation itself is potentially hitting rocky times and enthusiasm to support them might diminish. I don't think it. I think once the tournament comes round, mate, everyone gets behind them again, don't they? Although it does feel like, it does sort of feel like people aren't as passionate as what they used to be. I remember when I was a kid. England flags were everywhere, and you do see them less now, but I certainly fly my England flag during World Cup periods. Okay, Match Channel, Dom's coming in with a guess. I mean, if people want to guess, that's fine, but interesting already. But yeah, I'll give it another 5-10 minutes, and I hope you guys, appreciate this. It's just I'm just trying to think of what we can have on this show. I'm trying to think of it as like a bit of a radio show where you can have different things and get you guys to interact with it and stuff. So yeah, I just thought this was a fun idea. I'm not going to give the answer yet, but yeah, keep guessing, guys. I personally, right, should Thomas Tuchel experiment? I think no, because I also think we need. He hasn't got many options, has he? He hasn't got many options. He hasn't got many games. Sorry, this is it until almost a few friendlies next year. So he probably wants to see his strongest squad because there's still times when he hasn't been able to pick a lot of players. So yeah, it's just I think he should pick the strongest squad, and that includes Kane, that includes Bellingham, that includes whoever's available. They need to be picked. Some interesting guesses. England will make it to the quarterfinals in 2026 World Cup, similar to the 2022 World Cup, and I'm not wrong. Well, I hope you are wrong, Darius. It's definitely not Askika, second person to say that. It's definitely not Chloe Kelly. I blame the Premier League and Champions League with the Bosman rule, which enabled the big clubs to hoard the best players, so that mystique of international games has kind of vanished. Go for the strongest lineup at Wembley and then make about 5 or 6 changes for the Albania game. I think the problem is let's take the theory that we beat Serbia, 2-3-0, whatever, we don't concede, and then you're going into that last game against Albania with the chance of winning every single game and without conceding. It's a little bit tempting, isn't it? Not just to keep playing, chucking your strongest team out and get that over the line, because I don't care what anybody says, that would be a remarkable achievement. Absolutely remarkable. It's not me, mate. It's definitely not me. Chuck Norris. Emil Esky is the Chuck Norris of football. Love Chuck Norris. Some interesting guesses. Some really interesting. And I'm glad I've done it. I'm really glad I've done it. I'll give you guys. In fact, no, bugger it. Let's give it 15 minutes each week. Let's give it till 8 o'clock. Just in case we get some late arrivals. I mean, what I'm hoping for is that the games that are coming up in November, people are. I mean, what's in it for the players is that they're fighting for their place on the plane, aren't they? They really are, and I think I'm hoping that is going to give us that sort of entertainment, because Serbia and Albania have got something to play for, and I think they're going to be good games. I do think they're going to be good games. Ricky. Some really interesting guesses. Some really, really interesting guesses. And I can see why, not all of them, for obvious reasons, but I can see why some of the names that have come up. Some really interesting guesses. Definitely going to be doing this. I did think about doing Spot the Ball, but when I did some research into terms of how many people actually get Spot the Ball, I thought, no, forget that. I did have to take this player's number off as well, because for those football fans who are really in the know and understand the era and the numbers that players had, it could be a huge, huge clue. So yeah, I did have to take the number off his shirt as well, hence why his shirt looks a bit funny. I mean, Danny Welbeck could be a really surprise call up. Could be a hugely even though he's playing really really well. It could be a surprise but deserved call up in the next window. I just think I am interested to see what goes off with Bellingham. I mean, what's everyone else? I mean, there is that little bit of like, oh shit, like if he doesn't pick him, you just feel like, oh, drama, and you feel like we've got to a point. Do my top boy. I feel like we got to a point with England where this drama and stuff we'd got over that. You know, those days were long gone. So I do feel a bit like I don't want to go back to those days. Really, I don't want drama to be in there for the sake of it. But so it does fill me with a little bit of worry. I think Tuchel has no intention of not playing Jude in the next window, but I think it's really smart to make Jude think. Here, he might get dropped. Nothing wrong with keeping everyone on their toes. No, absolutely. Do you think Gay will end up at Barcelona or Real Madrid, Garrett? I don't know. I mean, the problem is it's a long time in football, 6 months, a year. I mean, if he'll not go in January, you know, I can't see why would a Premier League team sell anybody in January. They don't. I mean, a lot of Premier League teams don't need the money. He's not going to be able to force anything through in January. So by next summer, it's a long way away, long way away, isn't it? So it's a difficult one. I think he'll move. I think he'll definitely move. He is our best centre back, isn't he? By a country mile, he is our best centre back. Is that so? Ricky, have you finally come in with an honest guess there? Interesting guesses. How much longer you think MLS has, and who will still be playing there next year? Have you heard about England potentially training in Miami with Inter Miami with David Beckham? I think that's going to be on the cards. Bellingham has been great for Real Madrid. He's scoring goals. Jude will be going, but I'm not sure about Trent. I mean, Trent is he still out injured, Trent? Or has he been back in the? Is he on the bench? Has he played today? What's going on? He seems like he's gone to Real Madrid and not played a minute, has he? I'm with you now, Miles Lewis Skelly. Thank you for clarifying that. I love him. I just think he needs to leave. He needs to leave, doesn't he? He needs to leave Arsenal because he's just not getting the games. It's not Prince Andrew. Not sure why Miles Lewis Skelly's taken off really yet. It's not right. I tell you what. I can see the anticipation is killing people. Let me reveal who it is. So, everyone has got Mainu definitely needs to leave. A minute to put the final guesses in the chat. Final guesses, everyone, and then I will put on. I'll reveal who it is. I did. Robert. I thought he was as well. I thought it was on about Major League Soccer then. No, it's definitely not King Jong-un or Rashford. Talking to a Spanish guy online, he said that Wharton, Bellingham, Palmer, Foden and James would walk into any team in the world. There is a possibility that Tuchel won't play any of them, and it is mental. It just shows you how stacked we are. I mean, Foden and Palmer, they just need to get fit and get games, don't they? So we've got Wayne Bridge, Gerrard, Joe Cole, Danny Mills, Maskless. I mean, he will if he's fit. Maskless. Right, I'm revealing who it is. So I think everyone's had a guess. So 3, 2, 1. The first player is Joe Cole. Everybody. So pat on the back if you put Joe Cole down. Really, really well done. So yeah. Tune in next week for same again. Not many. I mean, a few people did put Joe Cole, but not many. I can see why people put things like Wayne Bridge though, and things like that. So yeah, but yeah, good game, everyone. I enjoyed that. I'm going to the Serbia game, and I think Ethan Nwari. I mean, when I went to see them, should get a chance to show his worth. He's a brilliant player and an incredible thing. Under 21's going to destroy. He was good at the under 21 game. There was a young lad. Oh my god, he was the fullback on the under 21 game I watched the other night. I went to the game at Pie Pot. It was so good. Oh, I can't think who it was now. That is going to really bother me. I might have to look it up. Yeah, I mean, so Andrew, obviously the big clue each week I do these will be the jersey, the kit that they're wearing. That will obviously determine their era. The problem you'll find is when I'm trying to find images of players, it's hard to find images that are available where they're not doing that, either some sort of iconic stand or celebration, for example. So, yeah, it's a difficult one. Yeah, it is a difficult one. But anyway, really good game, guys. Let me take this off. Really, really enjoyed playing that. Definitely do another one next week. Oh, brilliant, mate. Oh, great stuff. Yeah, it's always difficult for me to know who it was who I actually met when I met them because obviously I don't know you guys by face, so yeah, thanks for clarifying. I mean, look, anyone who goes to Wembley, I'm 9 times out of 10 at the Green Man pub. I get there quite early because I like to avoid the North Circular traffic, so I get there nice and early and park up and then go to the Green Man. I think that was the game against Sweden. Gary, he's won the goal. Maybe. I mean, it was. He did play that game and he did have that top on, so it probably was actually, mate. Great goal, wasn't it? Hey Gary, hope you're well. Can't wait for the World Cup. My granddad doesn't think we stand a chance of winning the World Cup. To be honest with you, mate, I don't think most of us, deep down. I mean, did anybody watch my true favourites video that I dropped like a week ago or so? And in reality, I think I pretty much summed up where I think England sit in their chances. I mean, we've got a chance. Obviously, we've 100% got a chance. So I don't think we've got no chance. But in reality, we're probably 4th, 5th favourites, maybe 6th. Pedigree counts for a lot. I know people are saying it doesn't, but having a history of winning tournaments, even if it's not the same group of players that have done it, there's just something about that pedigree, as we all know, and we don't know what it is in football. Fun is a funny game, but it definitely happens in football, doesn't it? Where, yeah, there's just something about pedigree and teams' past performances that do influence how likely it is that they're going to win a tournament. And England just haven't got that history, have we? So, in reality, we're probably our 4th or 5th favourites. I mean, the beauty of it is whether over the next few months is once the World Cup is determined, I'll then be able to drop a World Cup prediction video and we'll look at the groups. We'll go over all that lot. In December, I'll drop that and then I'll see, the route will open up. We'll understand who England might play at what stage. And who knows, England may get a good run. Let's see who I predict. We've got the second best squad at the tournament. It's just the conditions are against us. If someone put a gun to your head, I'd say the winner will either be Spain, Argentina, or yeah, Kurt, I can't disagree with you, mate. You've got to say that, haven't you? Given over recent years and how they're playing, it's even the most hardcore of us in here can't say that those 3 teams are probably above England in winning this tournament. It's not about squad depth, but just the capability of going on and winning a major tournament. No, deep down, I really do think we can win it, and I will be in a great position with Tuchel as manager. Like I said, that changes things from past tournaments. Yeah, I mean, granted, it maybe does. You could argue Tuchel is probably the most, in terms of current manager, the biggest pedigree of a manager we've ever had. I know you talk about Capello, but he was very much at the end of his manager career, wasn't he? He wasn't in the peak of it, where we've got Thomas Tuchel right in the peak of his career. Any club in the world would have had him. So maybe it does make a difference. We've got 3 of the top 4 scorers in the Champions League. If you ever talk to any old-timers about England players, they will list about 20 or so players from every era who were more talented players than what was in the England squad. It's all FA politics. 1 month until the draw, you're doing a watch-along. I was just saying, Charlie, I will be doing a watch-along unless I get a ticket to go to one of the watch-along parties in Manchester or London, or Leeds, I think another one was, that I've applied for. I don't think I will, by the way, but if I do, I'll go there and do a video as part of that, but if not, I'll definitely be doing a live stream. Tuchel nearly signed for Man United before taking the England job. Yeah, and it doesn't ever. Well, I can't recall England ever having a manager that was truly, the world's best at the time, or one of the world's best at the time. And you've got to put Tuchel up there as one of the world's best managers at this current moment. He's got a great record. Like I said, I know I go on about Capello because he was, in terms of pedigree, probably the best English manager we've ever had in terms of what he won at club level. But he was at the end of his career. He didn't speak English. He hadn't experienced English football or culture before. Thomas Tuchel was a completely different kettle of fish to that. Capello was shy. None of the players who played under him had a good word to say about his time in England. No, they didn't, mate. Last time at 3 a.m, I was half awake, hallucinating when I could hear Heskey making it 5. Class, mate. No, Gary, you're not allowed. You have to do a watch along with the people demanding it. Look, I'll be honest with you. So I don't think I've got any chance of getting a ticket because I think a lot of supporters, members will have asked for a ticket to attend. So yeah, it's a bit sweet. I'm open, sort of. I don't really, because then I will just do a live stream. It'd be great. It'd be so good. Can't wait. Andrew, I hear you, but I think we've just got to see how he gets on, really. First, haven't we, the World Cup? I'm like, yeah, I hope he stays on. But in reality, I'm thinking, we might actually bomb. That's because First Division was filled with mostly Brits and Irish, with 20 foreigners as most like Troutman for Man City, Orders and Villa for Spurs, Welbeck to go as a wild card. He certainly should get in the next England squad, shouldn't he, Ian? Give him a chance. End of the day, you can't ignore an English striker playing in form because we ain't got many. We haven't. I know we've got Harry Kane and it's great, but outside of Harry Kane, English strikers are few and far between. Liam Delap, the other day, what an idiot. He's immature, isn't he? Comes back after injury and gets himself sent off. And I was so disappointed. I was really, really disappointed because I'm thinking, right, Delap, now you've got a few weeks now to really push, for a starting call up, give us some options up front, and he's gone and got himself sent off like a pillock. Have any of you seen Christmas trees? I actually saw, but mate, I've seen someone's got lights up round corner from me, and they've had it up for a couple of weeks. We should have a petition for Mars Bars to have St George's Cross wrapper again, like in 2010. I just think it's a funny one, given. I don't want to talk politics, but there's a funny business, isn't there, with the England flag at the minute in this country. But I'll certainly be flying mine come the World Cup next summer. I want Tuchel to stay on even if we don't win it. The opportunity we have in 2028 to win it at home tournament at Wembley may be the one thing. The only thing is, I hear you, Charlie, but I just think surely we want an English manager. Surely we want an English manager for an home tournament. Do you know what I mean? And it does sit with me, that does, where I feel like I do want an English manager for when we host the tournament. It does grab me, that, and I'd be disappointed if we didn't. And it is. Look, I'm going to be honest with you now. If we win the World Cup, I'm not going to moan in the slightest. I'm going to absolutely love it. Best day of my life. Blah 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 blah. It will always be a shame though that an English manager hasn't won again. The Premier League, a World Cup, Euros, nothing. I just feel like we've got to get these English managers through and give them a chance. The one English manager we have given a chance basically nearly won us back-to-back Euros. I know he didn't, but I'll be flying mine out the window. St George's flag is my flag, not the Union flag. 2034 World Cup is Hadio set to move to 2035. Is it really? I want to stay on 2, says Carol. Been back Southgate for 2020 is a one-off. But Serena won a home tournament with the Lionesses. No one said it. No, I'm not, and no one will. No one will say anything. Is Thomas Tuchel, and I won't. I won't either. But is there that thing? Is that no one will ever mention it? You can't moan about it. It's a bit like Serena. You can't ever moan about it. But is that little bit of thing where, in 100 years' time, you think, yeah, we've won it again, but it wasn't an English manager, or I know we won't be around, but you get what I mean. Most people don't remember managers, do they, anyway? Apparently, some of England's supporters was subbed in certain areas during the Euros 2024, especially London. Sam Allardyce 100% record. I would love the irony of a German family winning us something. It would be ironic. Which English manager, Gary O'Neill? I know, I don't know, to be honest with you. I really don't know. They're both good shouts, to be fair, but I'd take Lee Carsley. I welcome England flags on my own properties, but putting flags on big lampposts and not even all the way up, that looks silly. I think Pep will be available by 2028. We don't want Pep. I'll be the first to tell everyone now I don't want Pep. I can't but think the pandemic made everyone desperate for cheer during 2020. Has a foreign manager ever won the World Cup? I've got a feeling, Oh no, Dom's answered no has. I was going to say one had, but guess I was wrong. I mean, not many. There isn't many nations that obviously throughout the years have gone with a foreign manager. Not any nation that has half a chance of bloody winning it anyway. No, because football managers are the best man for the job, and unfortunately the English pool for managers is shite, and I blame the FA and their prices for the declining group. I certainly do for FA coaching badges. The prices that they charge for FA coaching badges is absolutely horrendous. I also blame the fact that, I mean, when did that bollocks come in? Why do you need a qualification to manage football? Honestly, it winds me up. You do not need a qualification to be a football manager. It's ridiculous. Talk about money grabbing and overcomplicating something. It's all about money making that. Football is not a complicated game. Even at the highest level, it is not a complicated game. Yes, you might talk fine tactics and all that nonsense, but the idea that you need a qualification to manage a football team is just embarrassing, if I'm honest with you. It's just ridiculous. What are we talking about? But the problem is as well, yes, the FA is to blame because I understand the cost of licences here and to do the courses is way higher than what it is abroad. But at the same time, there's this fascination because we get foreign owners. I mean, I bring in Amarin, for example, at Man United. I'll be honest with you. I'm telling you now, most English fans didn't really know anything about him at all. Didn't know anything about him. Why was he more qualified than any other English manager knocking about? Why isn't Lee Carsley or Gareth Southgate or, even when we get English managers that do well, they still get slated. There's this thing in England that for some reason we have this perception that any foreign manager must be better than an English manager. That seems to be the perception. Look at the complete lack of respect Southgate has had. And it's because he's English. I guarantee you now it's because he's English. And it's just embarrassing, and fans are to blame. Fans are to blame, absolutely. As much as club owners, as much as the FA, fans are to blame as well, because there's this thing where how many times you see Chelsea, not Man City, but Chelsea, Man United, Spurs or whoever, they just go out and they're bringing this manager and everyone's like, oh, it's this great manager, he's been doing well in Italy. And let's be honest, none of us have even heard of him. None of us have even heard of the manager or barely know anything about them, or they've had one good season with a club in a Europa League run, and the next minute they're the best thing since sliced bread. I'll go back to Villas Boas when he was there, and there's probably thousands of managers where you look back and you think that we're going to be the next big thing, and it's always some foreign manager who's had a good 6 months that brought in is this absolutely amazing talent, and they're an absolute bag of shit. And you think how many English managers could have done a far better job if they'd have just been given the opportunity to do so. In Spain, in Italy, and France, they're not scared of giving just an unknown French manager or Spanish manager or Italian manager the job. And the same with the international teams as well. How many times do you get Spain, Italy, France, teams that win things, by the way, they'll hire a manager and think, I've never even heard of him. But they're just from, a youth team in Spain, or they've managed the youth team at international level or something like that. And we've just got this thing where it's just got to be, surely it's got to be this fancy foreign manager out in Europe somewhere. It's just ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. The rest of the world is envious of the quality of music and comedy we produce. They see a football team as a joke. They laugh at us. That song we keep singing. I love the song, mate, because it is coming home. It's coming home. Southgate and Carsley wouldn't be interested in Man United. As for the active English managers, Amarin has at least a few league titles. Problem is, though, mate, is no one's going to get a league title in this country because no one's given the opportunity. Nobody's given an opportunity. Look at Michael Carrick. He had a fantastic period at Middlesbrough. Solid manager. I guarantee you now, if he was in a foreign manager in Spain or something like that, he'd be touted as a next big manager at a big club, and he would be given that opportunity, and he'd be in Europe. I guarantee you now. In this country, they just don't get a look in. They just do not get a look in. Anyway, some big six club fans indirectly support the nation being sold out to overseas. I think it's because English managers are seen as boring and people think they are. Yeah, exactly, Arthur. Honestly, it's a load of crap. Honestly, fans are as much to blame. Going out and getting... I'm sick of it. I guarantee you now, if Man United sack Amarin, I guarantee you now, the next manager will be some other manager that any of you, you'll all make, most fans will make out they've heard of him, but I guarantee you now, most fans didn't have a fucking clue who Amorim was before he come over here. And you think there's English managers there that could have took that job. We always had the biggest joke, an unproven Portuguese. That's what I mean. There's thousands every single season. It gets to the point where you even forget who they are. Like, you lose track of who these managers are in managing half these Premier League teams because they're brought in as this next big thing. And the 99% of them do shit. One does good and everyone's like, oh, look at that, foreign managers are way better. But they only remember the one that did half decent. The rest are absolutely a bag of crap. We'll probably end up with Mikel Arteta as England manager. Time to get that stone tracksuit out. Karzit is a family man, which is why he wasn't taking a job bigger than England or Birmingham. It's so weird to see Italy and Germany, who have always strong depth nationally, sell their leagues and fill it with foreigners too now. Eddie Howe is most likely to be the next English manager, although Frank Lampard is doing well at Coventry. But it's because countries like Spain and Germany are constantly bringing through world-class coaches, and we're not, so they will get the nod off it. But the problem is, I hear you, Charlie, but the problem is they get the opportunities as well. They get the opportunities. There's just even championship clubs going out getting foreign managers. You think, we're never going to get... I guarantee you now, if every manager in the leagues was English, an English manager would have won the Premier League. You know what I mean? There'll be one English manager. If you give 20 English managers who you've probably even never heard of now, every single, dividing them up between the English teams, I guarantee you one would absolutely dominate the league and play absolutely brilliant football. Guarantee you. They just need the opportunity. Amorim and Roberto Martinez know how to ace job interviews and con HR departments. Brazil has got a foreign manager. They accepted no domestic manager was good enough for their talent. Brazil's downfall is baffling. They have no playmaker at all. Brazil is baffling considering the size of the country and the history. I think the problem is getting them to work together, isn't it? The problem with Tuchel is unless we get knocked out by a small team next year, the FA will give him another contract. A lot of people in here are saying they want him to stay on. They want him to stay on. Completely get it. I'm holding back until I've seen how we perform at the World Cup. But I don't know. It does frustrate me. And I guarantee you now, when Chelsea comes to change the manager, when Tottenham comes to change the manager again, when Man United comes to change the manager again, maybe even Arsenal, if they ever do get changed that. I know they won't this season, but even Liverpool, I guarantee you now, they'll bring in a foreign manager that most of us have never even heard of. And all you end up with is a load of press and fans making out that they know exactly who this manager is, that they know they're the best big thing since sliced bread, that they're going to be absolutely amazing, and they'll come here and do an absolute bag of shit job. And you think, just give an English manager an opportunity. I think because of how big the Premier League is, the Premier League are only interested in money and they can bring in the best coaches. It'll bring more money and sponsorship through the door. Please stay on. Tuchel says, Carol, he's sold on you. He's definitely, you're sold on him, aren't you? There's no real option to replace Tuchel. It's a tad harsh to sack him unless he does something dim. I mean, look, it all depends, doesn't it, on the nature of the game. If we go out by getting shafted by a referee or some absolutely scandalous, something absolutely horrendous that you can't compensate for, then you think, you know what, if we're going to a quarter-final, let's give him the next round. Let's give him the Euros. But if we go out getting completely outplayed in a knockout game, he's got to go. Everyone says Spain will win the World Cup, but they will be there. But they were there for the taking last summer. The problem is they were by far the best team last summer. Brazil's best manager is Felipe Luis, who was Atletico Madrid and Mourinho's Chelsea not too long ago. I mean, the problem, they've got Ancelotti and he's class, isn't he? He's a top manager. Top manager. Although he does sort of rely on individual... that's what they did at Real Madrid, if we're being honest, didn't he? He just relied on having the best players just to produce a moment of magic. Wasn't really the tactics, when you think about it. Give the best player the ball was Ancelotti's tactics, really. I mean, look, we've got an exciting month. We've got the end of the World Cup qualification campaign. Arguably two of the most exciting games in this World Cup qualification game for England in terms of a competitive nature. Because surely Serbia are going to be better than what they were away from home. They can't be that bad, surely. So let's say these are going to be the most competitive two games that England are going to play. So that's something to look forward to. Then we can start to look at who England may get. Then we've got the World Cup draw. And A lot to look forward to, guys. Gary, you'll see Thomas Tuchel, England at their best. Trust me, you'll fall in love with him. And if I'm wrong, I'll give you permission to block me. I'll never block you, Charlie, mate. But I hope you're right, mate. I completely hope you're right. Would press slating after getting knocked out by Norway be even enough for the FA to sack him? I don't think so. I think, look, if we get knocked out by Norway, he's gone. Don't worry about that. He's gone. Tuchel then Carsley is what I could do. I won't put a time on when. I mean, if Tuchel goes, it's got to be Carsley. Gary will see Thomas Tuchel's England at their best. Oh, sorry, I've read that one. I hope you're right. Charlie, I hope you're right, mate. Ancelotti is like Capello for England. Past his sell-by date and doesn't understand the culture of the country. Mr. Blobby to win the World Cup for England as he could scare the... I used to love Mr. Blobby. Honestly. Absolutely loved Mr. Blobby as a kid. If a national crisis occurs, we might see a boycott of football stadiums and rugby games nationwide. Why? What's all that about? Of what? Why? I mean, it seems like, I mean, what are we on? It's a month. It's a month away, isn't it, from the draw? So it seems like a long way, but it'll soon go. It just seems like it's been dragging on for ages. Yeah, that's it though. Ancelotti understands Vinicius Junior in terms of giving the ball and he'll run past everyone. Right, I'm with you, Dom. Gary, if we get to the final and it goes to penalties, will you watch or turn it off and just wait and check the results? No, I'll watch, but I'll be honest with you. I've said this before. Like, I don't think I could. I can't get over the fact that we've lost 2 European finals, and the only way I do get over it is by not remembering it. And it's really sad because there's such good memories, both the last 2 years, absolutely amazing games, amazing moments. But I don't relive them the way I want to or often enough because I try and put them out of my mind because I can't get over the fact that we lost 2 finals on the bounce. Now, the World Cup is sort of, if England get to a final of a World Cup, it's a bucket list moment ticked off. You know, a final of a World Cup in itself is a bucket list moment, whether I'm there or watching it on the telly. But for us to lose another final, honestly, the football ticket prices will be horrendous, mate. Even Bob the Builder couldn't fix the World Cup for us. Southgate got me believing in England on penalties. I think we're good on penalties. I'd fancy us against anyone on penalties. Also, sending love to the victims of the attack of the training Cambridge. Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. Shocking world we're living in at the minute. I've just watched the semi-final over and over, Gary. I've never rewatched the final. I know, but it's just... I mean, I have watched Ollie Watkins' goal a few times, but it's just imagine a tournament where we can actually watch it from start to finish and know that by the end of it we win it. Because we'd take it, wouldn't we? Like if we won the World Cup, we'd take losing 2 European finals on the bounce to win another World Cup. I would. Southgate really is that guy that we thought would kill off England as a major force, but revived it instead, a twist in the road. But he's the only manager who we've followed the same processes as what other nations have done in terms of winning major trophies, and that's hiring people who would manage their youth teams. They're not going for a big name coach, etc., and it's proven the most successful thing. There's 60 years of evidence that supports that that's the most successful thing. There's the past 15 years of evidence of England doing that as being the most successful thing we've done. And then the FA immediately, as soon as Southgate resigns, goes back to hiring a named manager. So I'm hoping we've not been idiots. Yeah, imagine, Ricky. I would have a valid ticket for the 2020 World Cup final if England had got there. Oh, God, mate. Apparently some Forest fans came close to being stabbed on that train. It's shocking, mate. Cole Palmer smashing the 5th pen and wins the World Cup on July 19th, 2020. He's got to get fit, mate. Jesus. I hope so. Just imagine if we win it on penalties and all. Oh, my God. Just imagine, if it happens, do you reckon England will use the same tactic for penalties like we did in the last Euros, like players walk up the spot with another player to support, players don't stand in one big group, etc.? Maybe. I mean, I couldn't give a shit if the whole squad walks up. You know what I mean? It's just get it in the net. I think the thing is I always say on penalties, just to get it on target. There's no excuse for not hitting the target, and that's why Kane's penalty miss kills me to this day. You just got to get it on target. England versus USA 4th of July 2006. I don't want to face the US in America. Honestly, I don't. I just want the US to have their own little group, get to the first knockout round, because they will do, won't they? Get to the first knockout round, get knocked out, and then leave the World Cup to everybody else who gives a shit. Because their fans are absolutely infuriating. Them playing us is like their absolute Christmas day. I just can't be arsed with all the noise around it. I don't want to get anywhere near the US. We went on penalties against Germany with a German coach. What a story, it'd be insane. If England won a tournament between Euro 2000 and 2006 World Cup, I probably would have cried my eyes out. Mate, I'm telling you now, cry as an adult. I will 100% cry as an adult. I'll take USA the next World Cup because they can't draw the game. Yeah, I've said it before. I'd like to avoid all the hosts. I think all the hosts. You don't want to be. I mean, the likelihood is though is probably will we because there's 3 of them. And they're all more likely to get through and possibly not top the group. So I just can't stand them, mate. I just can't stand the fans. Honestly, it's ridiculous. I just don't want the bollocks of it. And heaven forbid if they beat us. Fucking hell. I would literally quit my channel. If the USA knocked us out of the World Cup, I'd quit this channel. I'm not even joking. It would be the darkest day of my life. Even though the Golden Gem was overrated, they just had so many Roy of the Rovers type players. Gerrard Lamps, Bex, Rooney, Owen Crouch, Defoe, Scholes, Joe Cole. We would have won 2002 World Cup had we beat Brazil, as Germany weren't great. I know, but Ricky, I hear you, but then it's like we say this sort of like we'd have won the last one if we'd have beat France and stuff like that. It's just so, yeah. I'd like Mexico, I can't lie. I love their fans and it would be a good game and test for England. It would. Yeah, it would, but I think it'd be very hostile, wouldn't it? I think they'd give us a really good game. Yeah, I know, Dom. I mean, Robbie Fowler, he's a bit like Paul Scholes, really. Never really got his foot in the door with England, did he? And when he did, he was never really settled. Interesting player. Look, all I'm going to say about the Heat, right? The Heat cannot be used as an excuse. These are every single England player is an athlete. Their diet is accustomed for. They should be there in plenty of time to accustomise to the heat. Yes, other players may be better or have been brought up in that heat. By the time England are playing, though, with the fitness that they've got, with the acclimatisation, with all the training, all the planning and preparation, the heat should play an impact. Don't get me wrong, but it should be negligible. We should be able to cope with it as athletes. I'm not having the heat. And at the end of the day, yeah, I don't care who you are, even if you're brought up in Spain and Brazil, the heat is the heat. It still affects you. There's another opposition on the pitch. I don't buy it. The heat cannot be used as an excuse. The group stage is going to be like playing San Marino 3 times in a row. Well, San Marino may get through, mate, yeah. San Marino. No, at the end of the day, Charlie, in the group stage, we are going to get another European team and they're going to be a good one. Brazil had Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, without, yeah, Brazil was stacked. Like, I remember, like, the late 90s, early 90s, Brazil, growing up as a kid, like, you saw the yellow kit, you saw, like, Ronaldo. Oh, God, it was like watching magic. It was so exciting watching Brazil as a kid. Right, guys. Just conscious of time. San Marino could qualify for the players if they lose 12. Yeah, I mean, how mad would it be? I mean, it would sum up a 2018 World Cup, really, if San Marino get there, but hey-ho. I show speed to manage England. Is he a creator? I've heard his name before. I don't really know who he is. I've heard of him though. I watched the Club World Cup and the heat on the pitch was insane. I'm going to go chill, mate. Have a lovely week. Stay safe out there in this horrible world and speak to you soon. Yeah, you too, Charlie, mate. I'm just about to end soon anyway. As a fan, I'd be more worried about the Thunder and other possible weather disruptions like drawing Benfica versus Chelsea. Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, Rivaldo coming up against us is a nightmare. At the World Cup, Turkey and South Korea reached semi-finals 2002, although Korea get lucky with the refs. Look, there's always going to be someone who does a good run in there, but hopefully not against us. Right, guys. Hope you've all had a good evening. Hope you all have a good week, whatever you're doing. I will be dropping some videos next week. 3 video ideas. Whether I drop them all, I don't know. It's just time, really. But I'll obviously be dropping a preview video for the next few fixtures, Serbia and Albania, and I'll probably do a short for the reaction of the England squad, or maybe even just cover it on a live stream, because the next England squad is going to be so interesting. I should be on next week, mate. Yes, I don't think there's anything in my diary that says I won't be. Yeah, so I should be on next week. If I'm on next week, remember, yet again, there'll be another player who I blank out. So get researching. Some good guesses tonight, but I think only a couple of you got Joe Cole. Right, hope you all have a great week, whatever you're doing. Great, Ricky. Maybe bump into you then, mate. Hope you all have a great week, what you're doing, school, work, whatever it is. Stay safe, and I will see you all on my next video. Thank you all for joining. Bye-bye.